How's it going, boys? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some explosive weapons in BO1 Zombies. As always, we'll be excluding wonder weapons from the list, and we'll only be doing the Pack-a-Punch version since some of these weapons only gain explosive via Pack-a-Punch. Feel free to like and subscribe, and without wasting any more time, let's get right to it. Taking last place on number 5, we have the M16, or when upgraded, the Skull Crusher. Now, we won't be talking about the gun itself, but we'll be going over the noob tube it has, that being the M203. I'm not gonna lie, this thing's a piece of dog shit, but at the very least, it looks cool. It has a base damage of 700 on direct impact and anywhere from 75 to 400 on indirect impact. Unfortunately, there aren't many stats for the attachment, but it does have a max size or tube size of 1 round and 8 in reserve, which isn't great, but it's an attachment and is meant to be used as a last resort. Not much to say about this one, it's just kinda meh. Coming in at number 4, we have the China Lake, or when upgraded, the China Beach. Honestly, they should have given the noob tube these stats because they aren't much better and it's a primary weapon. The only thing saving this weapon is the ammo. The China Beach has a base damage of 1000 on direct impact or 75 to 1000 damage for indirect impact. As for the fire rate, this thing shoots as fast as George Romero walks at 25 rounds per minute. As I said, the only thing saving this from last place is the ammo. It carries 5 rounds in the tube and 40 in reserve. I'll at least give it this, the reload speed is very fast at 1 second as it reloads every noob tube at once. How I know that? I don't even know, you might have to call up Houdini to figure that one out. Overall, it's a very sad explosive weapon that serves no purpose in zombies. Nobody uses it. I will say this, it at least looks cool. This one's pretty controversial, and putting it too low would be a crime, and too high doesn't make sense, but at number 3, we have the crossbow, or when upgraded, the Awful-Laden. Honestly, this is probably one of the best support weapons out there in COD Zombies history. Need a perk but stuck in a pickle? Shoot the crossbow. Need to revive someone that has a ray gun? Shoot the crossbow, and so on. It has a base damage of 2500 for direct impact and 225 to 2500 for indirect impact. On top of that, the non-explosive tip deals 750 damage. The ammo is lacking at 1 in the chamber and 12 in reserve, but it does make sense since any higher and this thing would be borderline broken. The crossbow has a reload speed of 2.7 seconds, which honestly isn't even too bad. All around, probably the most useful weapon in the game if you're playing with multiple people, good damage and good abilities. I'm definitely gonna get some slack for this, but at number 2, we have the M1911, or when upgraded, the Mustang and Sally's. Before you guys start writing in the comments, hear me out. Presentation wise, it would take the number 1 spot. I mean, who doesn't love explosive dual wield pistols? But it's actually not that impressive when you look at the stats. It has a base damage of 1075 to 1200 for splash damage. Now I know, the gun feels stronger than it actually is due to the dual wield, but the damage isn't that much greater than the China Beach. The fire rate is pretty good at 300 rounds per minute, and if you shoot one after the other, it's basically 600 rounds per minute. The ammo is the highest in the explosive category at 6 for each pistol and 50 in reserve. Quite possibly the coolest thing about this gun is the reload animation and speed at 1.6 seconds. Sorry to all my nostalgia people out there, but it just isn't that impressive when the stats are presented. Taking the number 1 spot today is oddly enough the M72 Law, or when upgraded, the M72 Anarchy. This weapon to me is a prime example of what a Pack-a-Punch explosive is supposed to do, and that's a shit ton of damage, which it has the stats to back it up. It has a base damage of 3000, you heard me right. 3000 for nearby zombies and 100 to 600 damage for surrounding zombies. Normally this is a bad thing, but BO1 explosives have a huge blast radius. Now the downside is the fire rate at 56 rounds per minute, which is pretty low, but trust me, be glad the fire rate isn't any higher or else you'd be downing yourself more than you'd like. The mag size isn't that much lower than the Mustang and Sally's at 10 in the mag and 50 in reserve, and the reload speed isn't terrible at 3 seconds in total. In my opinion, I think this is the most overlooked gun in the game. It may not be flashy, you might not run fast with it, yes, you're more than likely gonna down yourself, but that can pretty much go with any explosive really. That's gonna do it for today's top 5, boys. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you disagreed with any of the rankings on this list, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And if you want to see any more top 5s in BO1 Zombies or multiplayer, also feel free to leave it in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. And trust me, it's gonna be huge. Bam!